All these isms and schisms that fucked up I live in, you know I just be pulling it up. All these isms and schisms that fucked up I live in, you know I just be pulling it up. Fuck a perfect picture, I just need a line to explain all these visions that's controlling my mind. My only fear is that it's like my mind. I wasn't built for mediocrity, bitch, I'm divine. Mr. Savage, I'm savage and I'm down for mine. Cut the mob and I'm golden and I can't help but shine. Can't lie, going through hell where all the demons dwell. What police kill black man, never see jail cell.
Where you from, dude?
I'm from right here. I walked these streets all my life. I got my ass whooped plenty of times by them. I've been plenty of times, no fucking reason at all. That's why I don't need fun along with them. They shot my brother. They shot my brother and gave him 25 years. That's the shit we get with here. They shoot people every day and they only people that die. They beat people in. They oppressing people. This ain't only about the people that died. This shit is our fucking city. This is our fucking land. This is our shit. This is our shit. How we let them control our shit. Why the fuck am I being police myself doing in the suburbs and I live in the middle of the fucking hood? I can police my fucking self.
Yeah, what's the mainstream media saying? Are they putting
What up, y'all? What up? Welcome to another episode of Savage Talk, brought to you by Cinema Central, a network of Savage Castle Productions, LLC. We are a network of creatives. You know, we got writers, actors, you know, just creative people coming together, you know, to, you know, get a united cause. Speaking of creative people, we definitely have to give a salute, you know, and say, this was some devastating news to catch today, that we lost a Cleveland legend, man. We lost a Cleveland legend, Melvin Hutchinson. You know, I want to start off saying rest in peace, Melvin Hutchinson, who, you know, found out he passed today. You know, man, Mr. Millie Grand, you know, oh man, that bro was, you know, connected with everybody. You know, man, that's a big loss for the city. I don't think some people understand. You know, bro was real people. You know, he had radio shows, the Hip Hop Workshop. I know him from the Hip Hop Workshop for real. You know, man, bro's his resume is just so deep. But you know, I know bro from the Hip Hop Workshop, and we got a lot of work in together after that. You know, with Al Porter, you know, Suave Gotti, the bros, man. I know they going through it right now, man. So I definitely send my love out to, you know, to Melvin's family. That's a tough one, man. He was just so involved. I think everybody knew Melvin. You know, if you from Cleveland, you knew Melvin, you knew Millie Grant. It's just sad that my bro gone, you know, but my bro, he always had that spirit. He with the ancestors now, so you know we celebrate our people, you know, as they pass. You know, it's a double-edged sword. It's sad and it's, you know, man. Yeah, sorry, y'all. That's a tough one. You know, we already been going through some tough stuff with losing some people. You know, like Melvin was a real close friend. I definitely consider him a close friend. And that one just hurts. So, yeah, just send a prayer out to his family. I'm also typing stuff right now, so bear with me, everybody. You know, I'm trying to make sure everybody has a chance to tune in. You know, because we definitely got to have our salute to the great Millie Graham, who's with the ancestors right now, passed away today. Cleveland legend. So we definitely salute. And I know, a sad way to start the show off, but we got to salute our peoples. We got to honor them while they're here, give them flowers while they're here. Uh, Man, it's hard to even go. It's hard to even like go on after that. But I wanted to get everybody in here because we do have an announcement. We are getting on a schedule. We'll be streaming mornings at 10 o'clock. Mornings at 10 o'clock. Be in tune with us. That'll be on all. We'll be throwing many promos out for that. But yeah, we'll be streaming mornings at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, So that'll give you a little spot to kind of measure, to stay tuned. I'll still be streaming other stuff beyond that, because sometimes I'll get stuff on my brain or somebody will bring something to my attention and we'll just stick to it and we'll kind of, go over that subject. I try to be unbiased, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm not unbiased. Like, most of our perspective all of our perspective here is black first, and I'm middle of the hood black. I grew up middle of the hood. I didn't grow up no crook, but I grew up in the middle of the hood. Like I got the best and the worst of it. So that's where my perspective that's where I'm coming from. So don't be scared to tune in, to chime in, on comments. Comment, let me know what you're thinking about our episodes. I know this episode is more about what we're about to do as far as with our episodes, and we'll try to, switch it up a little bit for you. We want to bring you many things, and like I said, this is a Cinema Central program, and Cinema Central is a network of creators. We're doing films, music, videos. We're doing music, live events. There's just so much we're involved in, and we want to make sure that the community gets a chance to get involved with that. And we're mostly based in Cleveland, but we do travel. And we are willing to work with people outside of Cleveland, outside of Ohio. So just keep in contact with us. If you're trying to get into the movies, if you're trying to get a little bit of training and resources as far as, learning the game. Sorry, my phone, like that's my camera. I got to keep my camera on. I think that's my wife out there. But, I got to keep the camera on. We still, like I told y'all, I'm from the middle of the hood. I'm still in the middle of the hood. Like I ain't playing with that. I'm still in the middle of the hood. Shoot. I've been on a Zoom call and had a gunfight right out in front of my window. So yeah, I ain't playing when it comes to that. But I'm also coming from a college educated level. I did attend Cleveland State University for film and digital media. I also had many programs and created many organizations in there. Spent most of my time debating and learning from PhDs and people from different cultures, and actually created an organization called Culture in Action in Cleveland State. I hope it's still in action right now, but it was basically about bringing cultures together to share our resources and work on one accord as far as certain things. I think all of our cultures have to kind of all cultures need to step back and have an identity to even work, and that's something that black culture hasn't had in a while. In many neighborhoods, there's no such thing as like the black community. We're so spread out. So, I'm doing my bid to try to close that gap. And other than that, what I'm saying, I'm a citizen of this world, this universe. I believe in standing up for all like anybody who needs to be stood up for. That's within your vicinity. Sometimes, as a man, you stand up, say something. I know we kind of got out of that in the new age. I know people kind of like tuck their tails and tuck their noses and everything when it comes to like public issues. And that's sort of why we have so many public issues, is that nobody steps in anymore. We need to get away from that if we're going to call ourselves a community. Because right now the community is pretty much overran by, the crazy cats, young thugs, and the old crooks. Like, we've been overrun by the young thugs and the old crooks. And a lot of the people who are the community people kind of indoors at the moment. We do got people still fighting out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, OG that we just lost, Melvin Hutchinson, speaking of him, and, Al Porter, Black on Black Crime Inc. Like, the guys are still standing in the gap for us, physically out there, still rocking out for, people. And, not just protesting police violence, but protesting, violence against each other. Like, we gotta attack it all, because we know our people are killing each other at a high rate. I won't say no higher rate than any other race, but just because other races are killing each other at that rate don't mean we need to be killing each other at that rate. And right now, I think we had a crazy rate. Like, can't nobody get at the white people rate, the wars and the mass genocide and all that, so, but we ain't comparing, I just had to throw that in there though. Y'all know me. To our topic. We'll quickly run through this topic. Meek Mill. Meek Mill is under fire for, his album cover. And, there was actually a video that kind of surfaced that, a guy was going crazy about his album cover. Like, this shit is disrespectful. All this motherfucker. Matter of fact, I can't even mimic it, so I'm just going to play it. Here you go. Excuse me.
Look at this bus that goes by in my neighborhood. What the is this? What the is this? What is this? This is on the side of a bus. This is on the side of a bus rolling through your street. Rolling on the side of your street. Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want? Look at it on the side of a bus. Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want? Is this how you want to be respected? Is this how you want to be respected in life? This is how you want to look? This is how you want to be portrayed? Stand up to... I'm from Philly. I actually should support Meek Mill. This is disgusting. Look at this lady. Look at this. This is on the side of a bus where little girls can pull up and see. That's pussy. Let's not mistake what this pink dot is. This is disgusting. This is satanic. I'm so sick of this.
Man, it's kind of crazy, ain't it? For the ones listening on Spotify and the other audio streaming services, that basically was a video. Like, Meek Mill, he got his album cover basically posted all over a bus, and I mean it looks pretty bad. I would say, first opinion, like if I was out with some of my with the younger kids, younger nephews, nieces, all that, I would be kind of pissed off. Like, it's sort of like the Lizzo thing. Remember when Lizzo showed her ass at the at the NBA game? There was like a little kid behind her, just with his eyes wide open, like, and it just I don't know, man. It's about, I think sometimes you got to kind of be a little bit more appropriate when you got to think about what you're doing. When it's like public stuff, you got to think about the audience that's seeing it and all that. Like that wasn't no late night stuff. Like, if you riding it around on the late night, hey, your kids need to have their asses in bed anyway. But that looked like it was early morning, and riding around with pussy all on your car. That's pretty messed up, man. Because, like, it's many ways to look at it, because we can kind of look at it from an artistic standpoint. Artistically, Meek Mill, he has his right to express himself artistically. Like, we really not supposed to be kind of censored like that. In comparison, like you can go to almost any the downtown of any major city, and you see a statue of a white man with his dick out. I'm sorry, like downtown Cleveland, you go down there. There's naked white men. Some of these places they'll even have like babies. Like they have like the Nephilim. With his throwing history in there, they're supposed to be like the little angels. I know we all seen like the little angels in the pictures, the European art, where they got the little babies with their penises out and all that. It's some European art is kind of strange, like, and like a lot of that stuff was the stuff that kind of is in the Catholic Church, and kind of you might kind of put one and two together, like that. A lot of them had like flavor to see like little kids naked and see men naked. Like it's women, they had the women naked too, but like there was something about them and naked men, like and showing their penises, and like it's like weird, and they like, I guess they consider as long as the penis was small that it was artistic. Like, so when they went over and seen like the African art with motherfucking dicks hanging out, swanging and shit, they like, that's not art. Tear that shit up. No. Like penises don't come that big. What the hell? like yeah. But like if you go to any museum, you're going to see some naked artwork. And I can get with that point. You know what I'm saying? You go to any museum in the world, you're going to see a titty, a penis, ass. You're just going to see it, whether it's on the painting or graphic design with the newer things. I know everybody in Cleveland remember when Sharon Reed joined the thing where everybody got naked downtown and they did the pictures, and it was like hundreds of people just naked down there, just like some people consider that art. Like you can be the judge of that, like, and maybe that's what Meek Mill was doing. Like I heard like people were trying to defend it like it's just art, but on the other end, we have to dig into like hip hop, and how hip hop kind of got kidnapped a little bit, the beginning years in hip hop, it was kind of used to uplift women, uplift our neighborhood, tell people about the struggle, all the stuff that was going on in our neighborhoods. But over time, like it kind of got took over to where it became like all about, about the money and disrespecting women, like, disrespecting ourselves basically, and if it wasn't disrespecting ourselves, it was about shining, it ain't all about disrespecting ourselves. We ain't gonna dog hip hop like that, because I'll say more mainstream hip hop, because underground hip hop is just the most amazing thing on the planet. And some of it ain't even really that underground. It's just not pop music like y'all used to, like the Drakes and the or like more mainstream now, like the King Von and the Lil Durk and all that, like, where their music is about pure violence. It's about, and it ain't just music, like they actually killing each other and putting it in songs. Like, yeah, it's pretty bad out here. That's where hip hop at now, but it's like it's kind of lost its roots a little bit. So you got to pay attention to stuff like that. You have to pay attention to more things, like about the abuse of our women. Like it gets to a point where it's like, hey, like y'all soft ass cats got to stop like attacking our women. You know what I'm saying? Stop exposing our women like that. Because with it being in the mainstream so much, that's how they look at us. You know what I'm saying? Like we just disrespectful to our women as a culture. And that's not true. Like as a culture, like the women are the top of our culture. Most cultures are patriarchal. You know what I'm saying? They go off a patriarch. The black community isn't a patriarch, it's a matriarch. Most black households, the woman is the head of that household. Like, it might not be financially, but most of them it is financially, like, but like spiritually, like who's making the rules, like all, like who's making certain decisions, who's taking care of the house, stuff like that. In the black community, it's a lot of women doing that. You know, it's a lot of women that are ahead of the household. That's why when you get like real men getting with some of these women, sometimes we clash, you know, because the women are used to like, you know, holding shit down in our community. And that's just how it is. Even when you go back to our ancestors, you know, over in Africa and you know, even here, our ancestors here, they held women to a high level. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that they had to do it. It was that, you know, this is what women did. You know, they weren't just these submissive creatures that, you know, TV taught, you know, a lot of women to be. Like, that's some recent stuff. Like, even a lot of family structures is recent from like television. I'm gonna put it just like that. Before television, the family structure was a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually communities, they found like the top men and the top women in that community, and they ran that community. And a lot of times these people would take in a lot of people in the community, you know, like, and that's why, you know, it was always Big Mama house. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that was in the black community, Big Mama house, where you have multiple people living in there. You know what I'm saying? It'd be cousins, it'd be friends of the cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knew this house was like, you know, the kingdom. It was a kingdom within the middle of the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I grew up. My grandmother, Grandma Castleberry, like, that was a big household. That was a very big household. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the people I grew up with, they all had them households. They always had a grandmother or auntie that held it down. And, you know, not to say that the men weren't there. Like the men were definitely there, you know, within our community. A lot of men weren't like that. During the times when I was growing up, that's when like we had the mass incarceration, and they were attacking the mentality of a lot of black men. You know, Biden and Kamala Harris, yes, them. Like, that's the stuff they were doing to us. You know, that's how they got in power. I'm gonna keep telling y'all that. You know, that's how they got in power. That all that bad shit we was going through in the freaking 80s, in the early 90s, they helped make that shit happen. You know, a lot of our people were locked up. A lot of our people, some of the motherfuckers deserve to be locked up, you know what I'm saying, through the little gang war, but that's not all the people that were locking up. That's what they tend to, like, people tend to try to throw out, like, oh man, it was bad. Like, some of the motherfuckers need to be locked up. Yeah, they did. But they were doing stuff like locking up people like for life or fucking 20, 30 years for getting caught with like a dime bag of weed. You know what I'm saying? Minor crimes, people getting caught for minor traffic violations and getting years in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting beat and getting taken from their families. Like, there's a lot of history with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically the point of it. There's a lot of history that goes behind our imagery and our art, you know, and so you have to be conscious of what you're doing. And I don't think Meek Mill was being conscious of what he was doing. I think he was trying to prove a point, but he did it in a dumb way. And he doesn't have a good record as far as his presentation. You know what I'm saying? Dude be a little bit on the fence. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us on the fence. That's yin and yang. That's life. You know what I'm saying? That's yin and yang life. But we got to get to a point where we not straddling that fence. You know, if we straddle that fence forever, we never gonna get anywhere. And that's for anybody. That's not just for black people. That's for any people, anybody personally. If you straddling the fence of who you want to be, you're not gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? Successful people are the people that jumped in. You know, unsuccessful people are the people that were scared to jump in, that didn't, you know, that thought about all these scenarios before they would jump in. You're supposed to think of some scenarios, but if you think of too many scenarios, them scenarios gonna cripple you. Trust me. But yeah, Meek Mill, I gotta give him a thumbs down for that one. We need to do better with our imagery of our women, you know, and we just got to do better, you know. Like, whatever point he was trying to prove, where they say, you know, he was trying to prove the opposite, you know what I'm saying? Like, that this how they display us, but like, come on, I've listened to Meek Mill music for years. his music ain't the most positive music. It's been getting more positive in the more recent years. You know what I'm saying? Once he got locked up and he kind of, you know, when we were going through the Tamir Rice and you know, Michael Brown protests and all that, you know, he got a little bit uplifted. I would say a little bit more uplifted than he needed to be in that situation, where I think it was a lot of other people that needed to be uplifted at that time that were kind of being put on the back burner for these celebrities, and the celebrities just sold all y'all out. So it's like, we need to stop worshiping these celebrities, and we need to go to our scholars, go to our people that's in the field. That's the only reason why I showed that video earlier. That was a video of me in the field. I don't want y'all to think that I'm a keyboard warrior, you know, because we're doing this podcast. The podcast is even strange to me, for real, because I'm used to being in the field. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to being on the front lines. So sometimes it's hard to sit here and just talk to people. But I've learned from, you know, my ancestors, you know, and my elders, you know what I'm saying, that you have to pass on your experience. You know, if you don't speak about your experience, people will never know. You know, that's why sometimes people get mad at me when I cut them off in conversation, because we'll be talking about certain stuff and I have to cut certain people off. Like let me give you a prerequisite before we talk about this. Like, we not on the same level on this. Like, this is something I've lived and walked through, and you're sharing your opinion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, sometimes you have to make that difference when you're talking to people, and people won't know that unless you tell your story. So, you know, I'll be showing y'all little clips throughout my life, probably little news stories and concerts I've been through on some of these podcasts, just to let y'all know I ain't just no dude on here just talking. I do this, like, you know, I've went against the whole I went against the Department of Justice, you know, for my brother and for, you know, Tamir Rice. I stood there, you know, when everybody else was gone. I stood there alone against hundreds of police officers. You know, it was me and a couple other ladies, you know, and I showed y'all the video earlier to prove it. Like, it was a little bit blurry, and for the people on that's listening, you know, they ain't no way to see it. But if you look in that video in the background, those were all police. Those were hundreds of police officers and U.S. Marshals and all that. And on the other side, those were people that were in the restaurants, and they were booing us, throwing stuff at us, calling us niggas and everything else, trying to provoke us to fight, because there was a lot of fights that day. There was actually one that actually got popular on the news, but a guy threw a bottle of water at one of the protesters, and he hit him, and he threw a sign back at him and hit dude back, and then dude went on the news like, "Oh, I don't know why you just threw this and it hit me in the head." Like, they played innocent, but they was calling us niggas and spitting at us and everything. But for the most, we maintained our peace, but they came at us heavy, and they sent some undercovers within the protest to kind of separate the groups. And while they were doing that, like the channel 5 and channel 3, they were all in there talking about look at the protesters, they're starting to crumble and fight with each other and all this. You know what I'm saying? Causing division, with little agents and all that. We were calling them out as they were there. We were calling the agents out like, dude, that dude's a fed. You know what I'm saying? Why are we going behind in alleys? Why are we protesting in alleys and back ways? You know what I'm saying? Like, so we did start lightweight fighting in there. And I told people, man, I sat there and screamed at the top of my lungs because I was on the front lines of the Tamir Rice protest. I was on the front lines, and we got into an argument. So a couple people followed me and a couple other people one way, and the majority followed these other guys that we kept telling them that these guys were feds. I got video of these guys, you know what I'm saying? We kept telling them like these guys were feds, and we don't even know these guys from the community. So we go by we are by East 9th. We are by East 9th, you know what I'm saying, where all the little spots at. They send all the US Marshals and all that. They marching. And as we marching, they doing this little thing to where they'll send a couple officers in and they'll snatch one of the protesters and pull them in the crowd. They'll disappear. So we start peeping it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm one of the first people to see it. So I'm like, hey, everybody run, like disperse. They kidnapping us, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and at the time, I had a contract with the New York Times too. I was helping them with some jobs. And one of my guys that I was working with, he was up there and he's on the camera. He doesn't see that they snatching people. They don't care. They don't care if you cameraman, whatever. At this point, they just snatching people and doing whatever they doing. So I'm telling him, like, bruh, like they about to snatch you up. He looked behind him like, oh, crowd dispersed. So they just get to snatching all the protesters, arresting them, snatching them. I had to dip through the little parking lot to get away. And while I'm dipping through the little parking lot, they get a call. The police get a call, and they start running. We see them start running the other way. So I signal a couple of the other protesters, like, bro, that's the other protesters. They about to go get them. So we try to run around and we try to catch them and see what's going. By the time we get there, they got all the protesters blocked off in the alley. They got them blocked off in the alleyway. You know, so as we going through, our numbers getting smaller and smaller. Like everybody, like, bro, I ain't fucking with that. Like I ain't messing with that. So it's me and these two girls from Dayton. I'm so sorry that I can't remember their name right now. But it's literally out of hundreds and hundreds of protesters. End of the day, it's me and two other ladies. You know, everybody else been arrested, then ran off, you know what I'm saying, or went home, you know. But now at this point, it's like 80 people in this alley. So as I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, like let them out, like, bro, because I'm at the time I'm thinking my cousins and all them in there. I'm so sorry. I'm telling them to let them out of this alley, and so I get into it with the bar sitting there on the corner. The bouncers, they get to like laughing and all this, like talking all this crazy stuff. So I mean, these dudes probably was like 300 pounds each. I ain't care. Like I would have smacked the soul out of one of them dudes at that point. And I told him that at that point too, like y'all some coons, man. Like y'all fried. Like, bro, this your people that they dogging, and you sitting here laughing like it's a joke. So they send the U.S. Department of Justice. They send a representative out there to talk to me. So they basically like, what would it take to get y'all to leave? You know what I'm saying? Like how could we get y'all to leave in this protest? And you know, I'm basically like, hey, let them go. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like, we not leaving till you let them go. You know, so it's basically like, you know, we go back and forth for a minute. Like it was the news. The news is they were all watching us. They didn't put none of that on the news. The only way it got out on some of the news was like some of the independent, you know, journalists. And so I'm going back and forth with the Department of Justice guy. So he goes back there, and while he's going back there, I'm still getting into it with the people in the restaurants. They throwing shit at us, trying to spit at us and all this. So we getting into it with them. The Department of Justice dude comes back out. He says, he like, man, I'm sorry. He like, I tried. He like, they already gone. He like, they already gone. So I'm like, how the hell they get them out of there? So they didn't slip them out the other side of the alley and took them to a secret prison. Yes. Like they took him to a little secret prison that's I don't know if they probably gonna ban my ass for exposing all this shit. But you know, I don't give a fuck. Like but it was the little aviation. Y'all remember the aviation school up there by the lake? The aviation school with the little jets, got the little jets over there. You see them on the freeway when you're going by. They kind of pulled them in there. Nobody knew where these people were at. You know what I'm saying? Like only way people found out where they were at is that there was a guy from the Plain Dealer that was in the protest that got arrested, and he got one of the protesters' phones, and he started recording that they had all these people in his paddy wagon, taking them to this secret, you know what I'm saying, location. They weren't letting their families know nothing, and it's just like, man, some of them people are still. I know a lot of them people personally, and some of them people are still dealing with issues with that legally. Man, some of the other protesters that we were involved in, one of the ladies that protested with her, they actually charged her with lynching because the police officers was being rough with a young guy when we were getting out of a conference, and you know, people was like, "You got us fucked up." We surrounded the damn police, the little RTA bus police guy. And he started pepper spraying people, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it turned up. And they like, because they, you know, the protest and they got a little rowdy, they charged her with lynching, like the first case of lynching in years and years, you know, and they charge a protester. If that ain't a spit in the face of freedom, in the fight. I don't know what is, but yeah, I guess that's all I really got to say, man. Make sure y'all stay in tune. We'll be broadcasting at 10 o'clock in the morning. Like we're on the schedule now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to keep that schedule, but I'm gonna be doing more than that schedule. We'll be streaming whenever we need to stream, basically. I'm your host, Savage Soliloquy. Follow me on IG at Savage Soliloquy. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, any of that. Go follow us on YouTube at Savage Castle Productions LLC. To stay in tune with some of our stuff. We do shoot videos. We shoot film. If you look behind me, you'll notice the screens and some of our lights and reflectors, equipment. We got all types of equipment, and we shoot 4K HDR. If you need a video shot, if you need anything recorded, photography, graphic design, marketing, whatever you need, come holler at me. Come holler at us. We got a big network full of people. If you need actors, we got them on deck. Big network full of people. Let's go. Let's get it. With that, I got to say, what up, what up, what up? I hope y'all have an amazing night. Rest of y'all night. If you a sipper, sip up. If you a smoker, roll up. And do what you do. I'm about to go kiss on my wife and grab on the boot. I probably shouldn't say that in public, but that's what the hell I'm about to go do. And I'm going to leave you with that video that we started off with of me going against the whole department, the whole Cleveland Department of Police and the U.S. Marshals and everybody else who they brought out. Look real closely in the background of that video, though. Like, they was about to kill my ass.
Hey, where you from, dude?
I'm from right here. I walked these streets all my life. I've got my ass whooped plenty of times by them. I've been plenty of times, no fucking reason at all. That's why I don't need fun along with them. They shot my brother. And gave him 25 years. That's the shit we get with here. They shoot people every day, and they only people that die. They beat people in. They oppressing people. This ain't only about the people that died. This shit's about our fucking city. This is our fucking land. This is our shit. This is our shit. How we let them control our shit. Why the fuck am I being police myself doing in the suburbs and I live in the middle of the fucking hood? I can police my fucking self.
Yeah, what's the mainstream media saying? Are they putting
This fight is for the freedom, justice, equality of the black man in America so that I may take my title and my fame and go out and uplift little black people in the ghettos. Yes, black people is catching hell. Black people who entertainers won't speak for. That's all right. Those entertainers coming here, none of them really get on no television and give up every quarter to say something that's against white people, right. The government. All those entertainers, not getting on them, but I'm saying I have to lead the way. I have to be. Now, God has made me bigger than all entertainers in America. God has made me bigger than all entertainers in the world. God has made me bigger than all athletes in the world. Now it's my job to whoop this man, get my title, so I can use it to help uplift the black man in America. That's why I go in the ring, with this intention.